Rhythm is life, rhythm is soul. I say let's get it right this time. Let love unfold.
All right. Anybody like to jump in this morning?
Well, I would like to, but if Kelly has to leave in a half hour, if she wants to.
That's nice of you, Patty. Kelly, have you got anything you want to say? She's not there. Go for it, Patty.
Okay. So I've really been kind of focused on what I am not. And I got, well, whenever I do something like that, I get to the point of I. So I'm actually going to what I am. And it suddenly dawned on me that I never questioned if the I that I'm feeling is a conditioned sense of I or the true I. So that's one thing I wanted to ask you, because I can push everything out and say it's not essential, but I seems quite real. It seems solid, and it seems like the base of being. And then the other part of that is I still find myself using my mind as I am right now. Sometimes I'll soften the focus and the mind quiets, but often, so those are the two things I'm really kind of caught in.
All right. So what have you come to see in reference to me?
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, in the conventional sense, there's a body, there are experiences, and the I is housed in it, but I don't really, I'm coming out of that understanding now.
Okay. So what have you come to see in reference to me?
Just I.
Okay.
Being I.
Okay. All right. What have you come to see in reference to me? You're me. What have you come to see?
I have to say the same thing, I. And so I think there's a stuckness.
What does that say about the me? Me is I also?
Yes.
Okay.
If I'm honest, that's the core of where I sit.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
Could it just be as simple as you're naming this I me and it's not me?
But there's this conviction.
Good.
And
there should be, because you are.
Right. That's it.
But it's not the me.
Yeah.
Come on, Patty.
Well, I can't make it happen, I can't make it happen, but I can sit with that.
It doesn't have to happen. It's already happened. It already is. See, you're making the same error that I made. Same error. Yeah. I could see what I wasn't. I could see the mind operating and doing its own thing. I could see I had absolutely no control over that. Yeah. I could see the body was doing its own thing. I could see all that happening. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if I was to be honest, it still felt like me is here.
Yes.
I didn't know how profound that statement was.
I think that's exactly where I am.
Yeah.
Now
try and negate that. You can't say I'm not here.
Exactly.
You have to be there to say it. Yeah. But that direct experience of here-ness, if we want to call it that, yeah, or that direct experience of being conscious, if we want to call it that, all names, okay? That direct experience of being aware, if we want to call it that, again, names, yeah? That you cannot negate is who you are. It's just not the me. The last thing, the very, very, very last thing the mind was hanging on to, the last thing, ironically, the last thing the mind was hanging on to was true. Everything else that the mind was hanging on to was false. Everything else, I don't care what you name, was false. Why do you think the me feels so here and so real?
Because it borrows that I-ness. I feel like I'm this close, but
You are.
and I know it can't be forced. I
You
know
are.
it's just a thing.
You are. It's not even a matter of you being close. You're already here.
But the understanding isn't there.
Yeah.
Or the letting go of that sense of me.
It's just a case of misidentification. Me saying I am this is incorrect. It's not the me. It's you. It's actually you. And I'm not referring to the me when I say that at all.
Well, I want to say something stupid.
Go and say something stupid. Go and knock yourself out.
I want to kick the me out.
Say that again. Sorry.
And the me wants to kick the me out.
Yeah. I know, and it can't. You just need to see the truth of what's happening. Just the truth.
And is it just looking at it?
Yeah, like there's a I'd come to see there was no me. I had come to see that. Yet my experience was I feel like I'm here.
Right.
Oh my God, you are here. It's just got nothing to do with the me. Zero. How can it? If you've seen, Patty, if you've seen what the me is, if you've seen how the me manifests, it's all mind, it's all thoughts. Yeah, the me is not an entity. Mind can't experience anything. Me is mind. Me can't experience anything. Holy shit! But there's something being experienced here. It can't be the me. Me can't experience anything. Me is an idea in mind only. So the last thing, one of the last things I saw was mind had hijacked this presence awareness and called it me. No wonder the me feels so real, because this presence awareness is real. You need to see that. You need to see that. Yeah. You need to see that. That's probably, Patty, the last thing you need to see.
Which is why I brought it up, because it feels like that.
Yeah.
And yet I have to refrain from trying to see it.
No, you can see it, because it's only that you are that can see it.
From where you're sitting, this must seem so, it's kind of like someone looking at something outside and they're saying they can't see it and they're looking right at it. That's what I feel like.
It kind of is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to see it.
What do I do to see it?
You got to see it. Are you seeing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you conscious right now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's that comes to see the truth, not the me. And your direct experience is you are here. And it's only this here-ness, this now-ness that sees the truth or sees the false. Are you aware of thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Good. It's that is aware, that sees the false. So your experience, Patty, of being here is correct. It's just not Patty. Why do you need to attach a name to this? Why? Why do we need to attach me to this? When you see everything else that the me has attached itself to. I'm a body, I'm a mind, I have will, I have choice. You come to see, oh, that's false. Why not this? Why not this? It's the last little bit. Yeah. And the mind hangs on. It hangs on. And the very, 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 very last thing it hangs on to is real. That's what makes the me feel real. That's what makes this so difficult to, like, we're trying to let go of this me, and me interprets that, or mind interprets that as to really let go. This direct experience of being conscious, aware, being, that's got to go too. No.
No, I don't believe, no, I understand. I really understand that.
Good. Okay. So what are you missing?
I really do.
What's missing? What don't you understand?
This is hard to put into, well, I'm sure you know, it's this, I know that sense of me still resonates.
It's not the me.
Oh, it's the I that's
Yes. It's
and it
not
doesn't have
the
a
me.
form of me.
Me doesn't resonate anything.
Okay.
It'd be like, seriously, it would be like the word apple on a page in a book. And the word apple wants to experience being an apple. It's that ridiculous. If we erased all your memory right now, Patty, let's use the amnesia pointer. Let's use that. Yeah. All your me memory is wiped. No history, nothing. Don't know your name. Looked in the mirror, didn't recognize the face. Wiped. What would be left?
The sense of I.
Yeah. Where would Patty be?
The I would not be aware of it.
Right. So what's the Patty?
A concept
Thoughts.
that I buy into.
Thoughts. Just thoughts. You have to understand, Patty, it's not the me that's buying into it. It's consciousness. The whole illusion is set up by consciousness. So this isn't about Patty coming to see the truth. Jesus Christ, Patty's the illusion. Yeah.
Yes, I come in and out of that, but I understand.
Yeah.
I have an understanding of it.
Yeah.
So really, it's staying at the point of awareness, consciousness.
Now try and negate that. Try and negate it. Try and negate that.
No, you can't.
Yeah, but you can negate the me, can't you? We just did with the amnesia pointer. It can be completely negated. You can't negate this. This.
But then all these, I just heard arguments, which I just observed them going, but you're in a world, you see a body, you know, the mind kicked in. But it's good to be anchored in that, knowing it's just awareness, just consciousness. And I see the hold of the whole mesmeric sense of a person. It is letting go, which is why that one little point is, I know, really important.
You know, the regardless as to where anybody is on this journey, regardless, that they're taking to be me is not me, it's their true self.
Yeah.
This direct experience, conscious, alive, aware, here, now. But people call that me. And it's not. Which is where the, you know, that expression comes from, that you're looking for, you already are. Just you're taking yourself to be something that you're not, which is what the mind is spitting forward. Yeah. It's only the mind that's dictating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about your direct experience?
It just is.
Ah, there you go. That'll do. Just, that's it. Yeah. Who cares what the mind says? Only the mind. Only the mind. You don't care.
No, and I once, a couple of years ago, got this little saying that says, don't believe everything you think. And now I know it's don't believe anything.
Anything. Yeah.
But that was eye-opening for me when I realized, oh, I don't have to listen to the dictates of what's traveling through here.
Yeah. At some stage, you know, who knows how long ago it was, but at some point, the experience of being here, this experience of being alive, conscious, aware, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, this that is real. Yeah. At some point, mind has stepped in and hijacked that and labeled that me. And it's not. It's you.
I see that so clearly, but there's still the hangover of the mind.
Yeah, so why does that matter? Why is the hangover more important than the direct experience?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, who cares?
Habit. It's been habit.
It's just mind. Yeah. Yeah. That comes to see it's not mind is consciousness. Or this direct experience, even calling it consciousness is but it's that comes to see is this now. This that's alive. Here. that we've been mistakenly calling me all this time. It's this that's aware of the me. How can this be the me? This is aware of it.
Right.
How can it be?
I think the first thing that struck me long ago when I started meditating was how can matter be me? How can I be made of, you know,
Particularly when you're aware of matter.
Right.
Is awareness made of matter? Is consciousness made of matter? Is love made of matter?
I have to tell you, this was an aha moment. I was meditating and there was an orchid plant in front of me and one of the blossoms fell. And I heard distinctly within, just because that flower died, has beauty gone anywhere? And that was really, and I realized that's the same with love, just because, you know, one person or something. Yeah.
You're the source. You know that experience that we've all experienced, okay? At least I hope we have, because it's a good experience, right? That experience when you fall in love with somebody and you're giddy, yeah? You're just, there's this sense. I'm talking about that first initial feeling, you know, like you don't want to be apart. You just want to be with one another all the time, yeah? And you'll shout from the highest mountains, I'm in love, yeah? And then we attribute that to the other person. The reason I'm in love is because of the other person. You didn't choose that love that arose in you. It just arose. But then mind steps in and interprets that as, oh, the reason me is feeling this, hear the dualistic language? The reason me is feeling this is because of him or her. It arose in you and it arose in them. It's got nothing to do with them. It arose in you. The beauty is in you. Yeah. And then after a little while, you know, the minds start to kick in both these people, you know, and the mind will start saying things like, I'm not sure he or she appreciates me. And away the mind will go, right? Yeah. And what do we lose sight of? The love that arose in you, the love that you are. You are that. Like you said with the flower, you are the beauty. You. The beauty arises in you. It has to arise here. Even to recognize beauty. How would you know unless you were that? Like, you know. I'm angry at somebody. I'm using another example, right? Yeah. I'm angry at somebody. It's their fault I'm feeling angry. Where's the anger arising?
In you.
In here. Yeah. And we go, and they're to blame for, no. You're the source of everything. All. And you're the direct evidence of that in your direct experience. That's those two people that fell in love with one another. Can like, where does that come from? Where the hell does that come from? It's not like they had any choice in it.
Right.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful feeling that if we did have choice in it, yeah, we'd be purposely falling in love with somebody different every day. Why? Because it's a magnificent feeling. We can't do that. We can't do that. Same as trying to get someone to love you. You can't do that. Same as trying to make yourself love somebody. You can't do that. When you know you are that, when you know you are love, you love all. Because everything is that. Everything is that. And the only thing that steps in and splits us off from that is the mind. Full stop. Full stop. That's all. That's all. So it's coming to recognize the dynamics and the mechanics of the mind and how it works and what it does. And Jesus. And it knows nothing. It's not conscious. It doesn't experience anything. Holy shit. That's what I meant by the word apple on a page. It's not conscious. It can't experience anything. Zero. When you think the word apple in your mind, is that an apple? No. Wouldn't matter how hard you thought of an apple, visualizing it, you can't produce an apple. All you have is an idea of an apple. So me is an idea.
And for everyone, that me is just an idea.
Yes. Yes. Created by mind.
That we were kind of hypnotized into believing, is real.
Yeah.
And that there are...
The trick there, though, is seeing what is it that's buying into the illusion? What is it?
Well, I can't believe that awareness could buy into the illusion.
Why not? It created it.
Oh.
Did it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we just snap our fingers?
Yeah, I wish. Do it now. Snap your fingers and snap out of it.
So how do you get awareness?
You already are it. You don't get it.
But it believes it's something else.
Yeah.
It's bought into it.
Yeah. So who do you think I've been speaking to all this time? Patty?
Yeah.
No. Who do you think I'm trying to communicate to? Patty? No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Oh, to wake it up.
Mm.
To wake up the real sense.
Mm.
It's working.
Good. Good. Yeah. If there is only one, or if there is only God, that doesn't leave any room for God and you.
I understand that.
Yeah.
That was the very first thing I understood.
Yeah. Yeah. Therefore, God is responsible for all, including the illusion. including believing it's a personal little me. Why? What an amazing experience.
Yeah, for fun, I would think, although not all of it is fun.
Just look at the multitude of different experiences.
It's interesting because along the journey, that me has stubbornly, even with all these hints and all this awareness, that me stubbornly said, you are not allowed to believe that. That is so fantastic. You can't believe that.
Yeah.
And that's breaking down.
Yeah. Yeah. And in some, incorrectly put, but I have to speak dualistically, and in some, the absolute decides to wake up to itself and experience that. Along with everything else. Every atom, every quark, every boson, every plank, every insect, every animal, every blade of grass, air, oxygen, the ozone layer, all human beings, all thoughts, all feelings, all. And I'm only talking about Earth so far. You know, that tiny little speck. Then there's everything else. Yeah. The mistake that we make, you know, like, of course, and it's not even a mistake. It's just the whole thing's a setup. There isn't any mistakes. It's profoundly beautiful. Yeah, but, you know, God is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Where the hell does that leave any room for a person? If that statement, if those three statements are true, we're
Right.
Yeah.
That's what set me on the path.
Yeah.
Because I knew those statements were true.
Yeah.
But boy, all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
other stuff kept,
Yeah.
I kept buying into it and the other stuff. Or believing I was the thing that could buy into the other stuff.
Yeah. The whole thing's a setup. And not a bad one. Just is what it is. And it's all okay. It's all okay. Nothing can harm the three omnis. Nothing. You can't add anything to it. You can't take anything away from it. So anything else that seems to be going on, it just appears to be going on.
I just heard something the other day that a wave in the ocean can't hurt the ocean.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great analogy.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clouds in the sky can't block out the sun. Sun's just on the other side. Clouds can't eliminate the sun. Sun's always there. Yeah. When a building gets knocked down, it can't hurt the space that was once inside the building. What can we do to space? Like, how do you can't cut it, you can't burn it, you can't. Yeah. Excuse me, Patty. Lloyd, did I see you put your hand up earlier? Or was that?
Yeah, but I think you answered it anyway.
Oh.
I mean, I was just going to say that what you're saying was nonsense.
Yeah, it is. It is. To the mind, it's nonsensical.
That's right. And I'm thinking, well, if you're living in a world where you have to make decisions and you are in objects and has all sorts of preferences and you're in your drama or anything, someone saying what you just said sounds like insanity.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's at some point in time you make something happens. I can't even call it a decision, but something happens that pulls you out and questions that way of perceiving.
You start to see, yeah. You start to
Yeah,
see.
I could really understand what Pat was talking about in terms of, you know, like you can know that it's a fantasy and you can know that the force of conviction and compelling nature of what you're in is supplied from another power source that isn't that where you are. But there's but then there's the, well, who's going to pull me out of this? and then there's no answer to that, is there? So and then you think, oh shit, I'm going back in circles.
There's no personal person there to be pulled out.
Exactly. So it's really,
there's no individual
like
that's stuck.
Yeah, it's sort of like somebody saying to a character in a novel, "Actually, I just made you up," and then the character says, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, let me be.
Well, what do I do about? Yeah, what do I do about that? And they say, look, I can't.
You made me. You know what? you can't just unmake me. I'm here. Don't do that.
Yeah, what does that mean for me? How can this show go on? I mean, even if I was to be realized, even if I did disappear,
beautiful.
There's still things are still happening.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
So yeah. So
yeah. I mean, there's
anyway.
like, Jesus Christ.
I got it though. I do understand. I understand what Pat said about like there's just this point you get to and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, knock it off. Wake up.
That's right.
And thoughts will still be there and decisions will still get made and the body is still going to do things but it all happened spontaneously, presently. Yeah, the personal sense of me and everything connected to that. Oh my God, my history, and even if it's good, like all that drops. That drops. Then the mind just becomes a tool.
So me is being played basically by a fiddler, a divine fiddler.
Correct. Is it not? Try and stop it. Try stop being me. Good luck with that. Try changing the me. Or have the me go, you know what, yep, I've been doing this non-duality stuff long enough now. I know that mind is the problem. So I'm just going to stop that now. I'm going to stop that thinking. Thinking still happens. Yeah. Still happens. So everything is just happening. Everything is just happening. When you're in the living present, when you're in the living moment, thoughts only arise if a thought needs to arise in relation to now.
Okay.
You don't live in the past anymore. You just don't live in the past anymore. And you are so here and so alive and so full of love and beauty and appreciation. Like there's no separation anymore. The experience of separation ceases. Yeah? The idea of death goes, completely goes. Can you imagine the fear that gets relieved just from that notion? Death. Just from that. Fear goes. That's one of the first telltale signs. Fear. What's there to be fearful of? Nothing can hurt you. Have no beginning, no end. You weren't born, you're not going to die. You always are. The individual goes, oh, I don't know about that. That sounds a bit radical to me. So then it has to become your direct experience. And in your direct experience, you come to know. You come to know. Then try convincing somebody else that doesn't know that there's no such thing as death. Like, can you imagine trying to do that? Of course I'm going to die. Just a conditioned belief, which is all connected to, I am the body. And after all, I've seen dead bodies. So I know people die. Well, if you're the body, okay, yeah, you can hang on to that belief. If you are the body. What we are is that animates the body. The body doesn't animate itself. That's why I ask people, watch what the body does throughout the course of the day. Watch it. Watch it. The me's doing nothing. It's doing nothing. Yet it claims ownership of doing everything. But in the pure observing of the body, all the tiny little nuances, we're not aware what the body's doing. We're so not aware. All the tiny little things. And that's just enough. And all I'm talking about is movement. What about everything else that's going on in the body? If I was this body, my next primary concern would be that I took my next breath. If I was in charge of, if this was me, if this was really me, yeah, especially if I've got this idea that death is real, I'd be making sure I took in my next breath, that my heart continued to beat, and then everything else that's going on. Come on. It's a total fantasy, a total delusion that somehow we're in charge of this body.
Maybe you could just say it's a necessary delusion.
Yeah, it is. It's all okay. It's
the way
all
we
okay.
The way we construct our society, the way this play works.
Yep.
It needs individual discrete bodies.
Yep. The idea of them. Yep. Absolutely.
It does need it.
Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So,
that's what I meant before. But by there's nothing wrong. It's all okay. It's beautifully okay. No matter what's going on, it's beautifully okay. It is. And for some, it's like a handful, relatively speaking. Waking up occurs. Okay, that's just another experience that the Absolute is having. Along with everything else. Okay. And then it kind of, and then it gets passed on. So the Absolute always has an experience of also being awake. Always. It'll make sure of that.
And this is to be devoutly wished, is it?
Say that again.
So is this to be wished? As in, obviously, we're all here seeking this, aren't we?
Well, it seems like that. But there's no persons here trying to get anything. It's just the Absolute gradually waking up there. Yeah. That's what's happening.
That was a comedy then.
Yeah, pretty. That's why I laugh all the time.
No, I get it.
That's why I'm constantly, Like people say to me, like, Terry, what's the difference between you and I? You're clearly experiencing something I'm not. People will say that. I say to them, okay, are you ready? They go, yeah, like, and they sit on the edge of their seat waiting to hear something profound. And I say, the only difference is you think there's a difference. That's the only difference. Seriously, I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing. All of you don't already have. All of you aren't already experiencing. I have nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
It's kind of funny because it's funny also because when I seek to understand what you're saying, I resort to the very thing that is the whole master of the bullshit show sort of thing. So.
Yeah, what Lloyd just said, yes.
Yes.
I see that a lot during the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. All you got to do is see that. The truth sets you free. At the end of the day, the truth sets you free. The truth of what is actually happening sets you free. Zabi.
Yes, I'm sorry. Patricia, you said you see that too. I kind of missed it. I'm parked now.
Good.
Yeah. Patricia, you said something about what Lloyd said. I kind of missed it.
Well, and I'm not sure I can use the same words, but Lloyd was saying you get into the mind, and I forget the train of thought of where you were going, Lloyd, but it's getting it back into that mind that gets you out of the true reality. And I said that happens to me all day long. I'm seeing that happen all day long. Or I catch it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I catch the irony of it.
Good.
So that must mean I'm getting awake. It's just
Patty, that's good. You're catching it. And you're seeing the irony of it. Good.
Yeah.
It's just more and more truth. Seriously. More and more truth. It's the truth that sets you free. It is. It is. And there's nothing more truthful than the absolute. Or nothing that knows the truth like the absolute.
And it's funny, you have to be a little bit awake for this to even catch you.
Correct.
To be on this path, which I started in my early 20s.
Correct.
It was something. I knew there was a truth that I didn't know yet, or that there is a truth.
Yeah. And that well, let's call that initial spark. Yeah. You weren't responsible for that, honey.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
And the very first principle that I caught was omnipresence. Well, if God, which I don't like to use that term, but if this being is omnipresent, there's nothing else present.
That's right.
I just couldn't, the mind kept arguing with that, even though my core being knew that was true. Wow. And that's been driving me crazy for 50 years. But I'm developing a sense of humor with it now.
Yeah. You can't not. Everything is beautiful. Everything's okay. Yeah, life is worth laughing.
But for a long time, I made an enemy of my mind, of mind.
I know. That's
the way it was.
Yeah, because, that's okay. It's just part of the process. Everyone does that. I did that. Everyone does that. Yeah. Bloody mind. I'm going to do whatever I can to stop thoughts. And that's just the mind doing that. It's the mind doing that. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You kind of go through that process. And then you've got to recognize that. It's mind doing that.
Right.
So it's just like you're constantly, and again, this is dualistic, but you're constantly stepping out of it.
Right. It's almost like when you're waking up from a dream, but you keep
stirring.
going back into the dream, but then you remember you were awake, then you're in, then you're out. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. There's like that. Yeah. Yeah. This, when people are attracted to this, it's like a moth to a flame. When people are attracted to this, what's being experienced is the stirring.
Right.
And none of you have anything to do with that stirring. Nothing. You got nothing to do with it. I'm talking about the personal sense of me.
I got it.
Nothing to do with it. Zero.
The eye getting back to itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely the person has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yes, Abby.
So I don't know why my mind just keeps like wants to ask this question again. So last week I was looking at some roses, and then we were talking about how the mind can't experience the roses. I'm looking right at it, and here, what was I getting at? So basically, so that moment there, now it's in memory from last week. I'm like, okay, last week I was talking to you, and I was experiencing the roses, but now it's in my head. It's just an imagination.
Yeah.
So it's not real, and I'm like just always here.
Yeah.
But how am I going to put this? So what about this moment here? Like, I'm looking at this. This is not in my head. The water bottle is here. I know it's like dualistic and we're never in the future, but let's say 5 minutes from now, the water bottle is gone. It's not there. It's in my memory. So is this moment, even this moment, I know it's consciousness, but this moment itself just not really real? And I don't know. It's coming out wrong.
It's okay.
Like everything I'm looking at right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if 5 minutes from now, if I'm not right here, and it's all imagination, so what is this right now? Is this just not? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't.
Well, it does. It's okay. Where does imagination take place?
In the mind.
Good. So in the absence of mind, what gets experienced now? Imagination? No. No. When is it not now?
Never not now. Okay.
So your direct experience is always now.
Yeah.
It's always on. There is no past or future. There is no past or future, my friend. It's a mind construct.
Okay.
There's no past or future. Where does the past and future lie?
Mind.
Correct. Yeah. That's not to say that plans won't get made and so on. Even when you're awake, plans might get made, but you have no investment in the outcome. See what happens.
Yeah.
Made a plan, now let's see what happens. You don't care. It's,
Okay.
what will be will be. It's, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like waking up at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning now, because it's so peaceful and quiet.
Yeah.
And I can just lay there and just get to the time where I have the least going on, and I'm just staring out, like just being with the eye, I think, as you called it.
Yeah.
Just like basking in it, and from like 3:30 in the morning till 7:30 in the morning, I'm just literally just doing nothing, just trying to stay with it.
It's the recognition of isness.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the first clue that there is no past, is that we are always experiencing here and now, always.
Only. Yeah, only.
And that really struck me too, that sure, the here and now is past, but all I've ever experienced since I was conscious is here and now. And and that was the first solid thing I could hold on to that said, well, it's your experience. It's here and now. So
now what mind does with that, because of the way it works, yeah, it's still, and check for yourself, yeah, whether it's happening now or not, but there would have been at some point, your experience would have been in relation to mind, yeah, that even now is an increment in time.
right, that's what we think.
That's what we think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
so and it's so, you know, it's, that's why sometimes I say, instead of now, it's just on. There's no beginning or end to on.
right.
It's just on.
I see experiences as a film strip.
Yeah.
You're standing here at now, and that film strip is going.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if we say now, yeah, well, when does this now begin and end, and then the next now start and finish,
Right.
and then the next now start and finish? So what the mind will try and do with that? Yeah, of course it will do that. It's dualistic in nature. Yeah, that's what it does. Beautiful instrument, most wonderful, divine, creative instrument. Yeah. The sixth sense. It's the creative sense. God creates via that sense. Anyway, I use the word God. You know what I mean.
It's fine.
At least I hope you know what I mean. Yeah.
I just had to substitute. I had God as
okay. Yeah.
the old man with the white beard on
I
some
know.
So I had to. I like the Indian, the Native American Great Spirit, or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. I don't mind what you call it, as long as you know you are it. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Yeah. It's just on. On. The whole idea and notion of time drops. Just drops.
And you could almost say of reality, it is.
That's it. That's
On
it.
is.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Isness is on. Wow.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
That the mind loves to.
Yeah.
Mess of it.
Yeah. Yeah. The mind is trying to experience this onness, and it can't. And me is the mind. And me wants to experience this onness. Holy shit, the onness has already been experienced. It's just not the me that's experiencing it. That's why the me places no value in onness, on consciousness, awareness. It places no value in it. Thinks it's already that. And the me goes, yeah, big deal. What? Yeah, I'm conscious, so. I'm aware, so. I still feel really stuck and I still feel really fucked up and, you know, whatever it says. Yeah.
That we take for gospel.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to, yeah. Another way back. When I say you're conscious of the mind, yep. Okay, so it's consciousness that's experiencing mind, not the me. The mind cannot experience consciousness. And you know that in your direct experience, In your direct experience, you know that. You're conscious of mind, right? Like, it's really easy. You're conscious of it. It bloody makes up and says all sorts of bullshit throughout the course of the day. It does. And you are aware of that. Okay. Now, dive into the mind, which is where everybody lives. They think they live, right? Dive in there and see if there's an experience of being conscious of this that's conscious of the mind. See if mind can be conscious of this. If it could, there'd be 2 points of consciousness. There's only one. And you're experiencing it right now, right here. So the me is not experiencing the mind. The mind is not experiencing itself. It can't experience. It's not conscious. It's not alive. Yet you're conscious of it. Ooh, there's a tip. There's a tip. Always been conscious of it. Yeah.
And if you're conscious,
because we've labeled this consciousness me, we never look there again. Never look there again. What's the big deal? Yeah, I'm conscious, so see what the mind will do with it. Yeah, I'm conscious, and I'm conscious, and so, you know, profound it is to be conscious. Oh my God. That's appropriate. Oh my God. You are the direct experience of being conscious. You are the direct experience of being aware. And if you like, it's that point, it's not a point, but it's that point that you're aware and conscious of every other possible thing, including thoughts, including a feeling in the body, including the body, including a tree, the sun, the moon, the stars, others, things, space. What? It's fascinating that we can acknowledge, yep, I'm conscious of everything, but we're not conscious of the mind. What the hell's going on there? Like, we don't understand when I say we're not conscious of the mind. We don't recognize that we are separate from the mind, that we are conscious of it. Instead, the mind hijacks this that's conscious and says, this is me that's conscious. No, it's not. Sorry about that. No, it ain't. Is there consciousness? Yes. It's got nothing to do with the mind or the personal me or the sense of me. Nothing to do with it.
you know, what was a big hurdle for me is that when you're anesthetized or you die, it appears as if consciousness goes away. And I had to go through and this was using the mind, but the mental gymnastic of saying, I'm aware of the body, therefore what I'm seeing when the body seems to lose consciousness, it has to be a lie, because I'm aware of the body.
Yeah.
And it took me a long, long time to get out of that idea that, well, the body has to be real because and it has to be supporting consciousness, because when, you know, I've been under anesthesia or when somebody dies, where's consciousness? Mm-hmm. And so that trips up, that was a big hurdle.
Yeah. And now you're kind of getting to a point of, I can try and to now describe this, but until you actually experience it, this description will fall flat on its face. But I'll try, okay? Just because consciousness is absent, it doesn't mean I am absent.
I think I understand that.
Yeah.
Because the essence of I is consciousness.
I is everything, right? But it uses the medium of consciousness to be able to experience.
Oh, okay. All right. So is there a distinction between the I awareness and consciousness that the mind experiences?
I want you to discover that.
Well, I feel like awareness is it, and that consciousness is a form awareness takes within the mind-body appearance.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll take it a big step further than that. Consciousness is everywhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a location.
Mhm.
It doesn't have a location.
Yeah.
That is seeing out of your eyes right now is the absolute. Without consciousness, keep in mind that space and all things and stuff and the body and thoughts and feelings, all arises as a result of consciousness. Yeah. All of it. So consciousness doesn't have a location. It's everywhere and everything.
Oh, that's omnipresence. That's that thing that struck me.
Yeah. And it's we call it the three omnis, but it's one.
I understand.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So that is seeing out of your eyes right now is the absolute. Using, if you like, the medium of consciousness, which it also is. It's also consciousness. Yeah. So I can kind of get.
Yeah, it can get tricky. But that's that thing of then that consciousness is really just an elusive form that appears in an elusive body that appears to be able to disappear in this I call this illusion, Maya.
So here's what I would say to that. All there is consciousness.
But it's consciousness appearing as something like a wave on the ocean.
Stop that. All there is consciousness. That you can experience directly. That you can experience directly.
So all that's ever going on is consciousness. Being conscious.
And prior to consciousness, I. You can't get that, sweet. Trying to get that with the mind, That's why at that point, I say the gateway is your direct experience of consciousness. No, at that point, no interest whatsoever anymore of what the mind is saying. None. It's that point that it just like it gets put down. It's like it becomes obsolete. Direct experience of being conscious. All experiencing happens as a result of consciousness. Everything arises in consciousness. So everything is consciousness. You take consciousness away and what do you got? All disappears. Yeah. It's like when I say if you take space away, all things disappear. Yeah. Things are dependent on space, and things and space are dependent on consciousness.
Yeah, I use space as an analogy a lot when I get stuck.
Mm.
Yeah. Because space is that it's intangible, just like consciousness.
Yeah.
It's everywhere,
Yeah.
and yet things appear in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Words fall to pieces right there. Anything I try and say about it is not true. No matter what I try and say about it, you know, there's a temptation to say, you know, and I hinted at it a moment ago. I am prior to consciousness. Prior to consciousness. Yeah. Now, how can I be prior to consciousness if I'm consciousness as well? See what I mean? Yet the experience, the actual experience, is the sense of being prior to consciousness or source of consciousness. There's no mind. No mind. Like, you know, the eyes aren't conscious. They're appearing in consciousness, but the eyes themselves aren't conscious. Yeah. Yet I is seeing through the eyes. So I is prior to the eyes and prior to consciousness. Don't get too attached at all to what I'm saying right now. Don't try not to let the mind conceptualize that. Yeah. It's the recognition of here, now, consciousness, being, aware, here. It's here that I'm trying to talk about and failing dismally gets revealed. All is resolved here. Here. There's another knowing, there's another intelligence that kicks in that's not of mind. There's another knowing. Yeah. The all-knowing, the all-being, yeah. All presence, all loving, all. And you are that. Oh. Yeah. How do we arrive there? First, come to see what you're not. Second, experience consciousness, absolutely. Consciousness, yeah. Be content with that. Sit there, see what happens. Then everything gets revealed. A, B, C. Boom. That's it. Class is over. That's funny. Come to see what you're not. Come to experience what you're experiencing. Yeah, and be content with sitting there, because it's beautifully profound. Being is beautifully profound. See what gets revealed. And it like this direct experience of being conscious and aware is not dualistic. So we're now past the point of being conscious of stuff. Now past that point, now it's just the direct experience of consciousness itself. Not even conscious of consciousness, because that would still be being conscious of, wouldn't it? But it might start that way. That's okay. It might start that way. That's okay. I'd rather you be conscious of consciousness than anything else. Anything else. If you're going to be conscious of something, be conscious of this. Yeah. Until it becomes so obvious that the being conscious of drops. You are this. No longer, you can't be conscious of it. You are it. And then sit there. Not that there's anyone to sit there at that stage. Yeah. It's like I refer to it as the gateway. Yeah, even that's. Sounds like it's something you got to walk through or step through. It's not. It's not. Yeah. True self is revealed as a result of just being conscious, not of, just being conscious. Self is revealed right there. Right there. It's like consciousness morphs into that you actually are, which is prior to, but not really. Oh, but not really. There is no location. There is no prior to, after. You know, that's all measurement. That's all dualistic. But that's the best way I can attempt to guide. 2 minutes left. That's not bad. I spotted it today. Lindy, how you doing? Sorry, Patty.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Just a bit mesmerized, really. I mean, this is all really powerful. I'm a bit speechless, really.
Good.
I don't know whether to.
Great.
Sort of half of me wants to laugh, half of me wants to cry, and half of me wants to just sort of run away, really. It's like I get little bits, but the rest of it is just
That's okay. That's all okay. That's great. That's all okay.
I have to say, just watching and listening to Patty, it's just beautiful. Love you, Patty. You're just amazing.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
So inspirational.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, but
Go on, own it. Own it. Go on.
I can't imagine. Well, but thanks.
There you go.
You're not too bad yourself, Terry.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Linda. It's been a while since somebody has said that to me, let me tell you.